Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Gold Mythic Eric, who is going to be an ultra token wheel character coming into RTS. Now in the Mythic era we have not had an Eric before. We've had Eric before in other eras, quite a big favourite once upon a time. He is a tough character here, as well as the pretty much the most legendary Eric, I guess, was in the 6-star era. Visually, as you can see on the right hand side, looks pretty cool. I like the get up with the actual the gear on. Looks really good. Looks pretty geared out, honestly. On the left hand side you can see he's holding a special weapon, but he hasn't got an attached weapon on the right, so there might be a special looking weapon coming in the future that looks like this. We can also see in the background he has got Aaron here, which is kind of interesting considering the one we have in game is strong, whereas this one looks like he's an alert character. You can see that pistol in his hand, so maybe something to look forward to again in the future. We'll have to wait and see. If we check out the stats on Eric, you can see level 1440, limit break 3, he has got 15,265 attack, 30,530 defense, and 30,530 HP. He is going to be a tough character like we saw already. He's going to be considered a control role. He's going to be a Gold Mythic, of course, and he's going to be joining the Alexandria Allegiance. So potentially there's going to be some usage on Faction Assault. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, so first up we're going to look at the Adrenaline Rush, and it is called Perfect Health. It's got a recharge rate of 55 AP, which is pretty fast, but normal for a defense team character, and Eric does seem like he's going to be a defense team character. Heal all teammates for 75% of their max HP for 2 turns. All tough teammates get 100% trauma resistance for 2 turns. When battling on the defense team, this character deals 15% of their living team's total max HP as damage to 2 enemies. So obviously 3 parts to this. The heal is very nice. The tough characters getting 100% trauma resistance is actually very interesting, and that obviously could scale up to 5 teammates, or it could just be Eric alone. Depends on how many tough characters you have with Eric on a team. The last part is kind of brand new. We haven't seen anything like this before, where it's going to take the total max HP of the entire living team. But from what I understand, the way I'm reading it is, it doesn't matter if you've got all 5 characters on 1 current HP. As long as they're alive, it counts their max HP, so as high as it can go, not including bonus HP. So the damage will be pretty consistent as long as teammates are alive. It doesn't matter if they've taken damage or not, which is very interesting indeed. Okay, so first off we'll test it with just Eric alive by himself. If I do the defend action on all these characters, he's going to do his rush, and he'll do 15% of his max HP as damage. If we just hit the defend action, in will come the rush, and it will do 6,668 damage, which is going to be very consistent throughout the fight if it's just Eric alive by himself. However, if he has got a full team in support, that damage should be increased if they are still alive while he's doing his rush. Okay, so this time we've got Eric in a full team, and I can say that the full HP of all these characters combined is just under 350,000. That means the damage he should do should be just over 50,000. Obviously, he could have characters with more HP in this team, but this is just an example. If I hit the defend action, he'll do his Adrenaline Rush, and he should hit 2 characters for 52,000, I think, and 551 or something like that. So it was quite a lot of damage. If you had characters in here that boosted HP even more, for instance, Nor has over 100k HP quite easily, and then you have characters like, I think, is it Martinez, boost the HP of fast characters, so you could actually team him up with some fast characters as well and get some extra HP. The HP numbers are going to be very high of the overall team. Now remember, it's the HP max, not the current HP. So if I already did some damage to a character, it wouldn't count their now reduced HP, it would always be the max HP. So if we look at the upgrades, you can see at grade 3 it gets plus 50% to heal. So it goes from a 25% heal up to a 75% heal. This lasts for 2 turns, so obviously huge amounts of healing are going to be incoming. Next up is going to be grade 5. This is 2 copies. It's an upgrade where all tough teammates get 100% trauma resistance for 2 turns. Now this is obviously scales. This could affect just one character, being Eric, or the entire team again if you had a full tough lineup. It was basically up to you on how you set up your defense team. The last part is going to be at limit break 2, where it's going to be a 10% damage boost, and that's going to be onto the max HP of the entire team. So initially it is only 5%, but it gets boosted up to that 15% at Limit Break 2, which is going to be 4 copies of Eric. Now this is very, very intriguing. It's going to be interesting to see, honestly, what's going to happen in the future with this kind of idea. When it's using the combined pool of HP in this case, it could potentially do defense, it could potentially do attack for like a support attack character. This is kind of fun, honestly, and it'll be interesting to see how this works, and I can see it working very well on Eric. He's going to be rushing very quickly, doing potentially a lot of damage depending on the team you set him up in, and keeping those teammates up on their feet as well. It's a very strong start here for Eric. Let's move on to the signature move. And it is called Tough Gear. It has got an initial cooldown of turn 1, cooldown of 1 turns, number of usage unlimited, taunt a line of enemies for 2 turns. All teammates get 20% bonus HP for each tough teammate on their team. 3 random tough teammates get 100% decap resistance for 3 turns. 2 other teammates get 100% decap resistance for 2 turns. So let's break this down. The first part, the taunt a line of enemies for 2 turns. This is going to work obviously in letting him gain AP quicker, but it's also going to work with his specialist skill in terms of him dealing out damage. All teammates getting 20% bonus HP for each tough teammate on the team is actually crazy. This means you can set up more defensive weapons and utilize Eric's signature move here as the thing that's going to get the bonus HP nice and early. So let's say you had 3 tough teammates, you're going to give out 60% bonus HP to the entire team. Again, if you only had Eric, it would be 20%, but it seems very beneficial to team up with tough characters. The next part is 3 random tough teammates get 100% decap resistance for 3 turns. This means that if he is on a full team of tough characters, then he's only going to give it to 3 teammates that are going to get it for 3 turns. But if he's on a team with 1 tough character, just be it him, it will just be him getting it for 3 turns. No matter what, however, 2 other teammates will get 100% decap resistance for 2 turns, regardless if he's in a team of 5 tough characters or just him by himself. So there's going to be a bit of decap resistance floating around on the team. Now there are some characters out there that already give themselves decap resistance, for instance Nor and Imani, so you could maybe think about that when working them into your team if you wanted to have less tough teammates. But like I said, it seems very beneficial to have them just based on the fact of the bonus HP part of this signature move. Okay, so I'm going to hit the defend action and we're going to see basically what happens. What should happen is 40% bonus HP to all teammates, as well as decap resistance to himself and Peacekeeper at 3 turns, and 2 of the remaining 3 teammates at 2 turns. We'll do the defend action. The taunt's going to come in. He's going to taunt Shane by himself, but if he did taunt a line, it would be the line of enemies. Shane will do a basic attack. He's actually going to get overwritten by another taunt character. This is something to obviously take into account. If you do stack too much taunt, you can't guarantee where the taunt's going to go. But you can see the bonus HP on all the teammates is 40%. We also have decap resistance on Eric and Peacekeeper at 3 turns. And then obviously on the remaining characters, we have Laura and Tara who have it at 2 turns. It's actually kind of funny because it was Shane who got taunted. I think he has inbuilt Ransack into his kit. So he has actually stolen away the 3-turn decap. So that's something to note. But because it's got such a fast turnaround, it's going to actually be up before it goes down, even on the 2-turn decap resistance that have been applied to his teammates. So if we look at the upgrades on the signature move, you can see at grade 2, it gets +1 to taunt duration. So initially it is a 1-turn taunt and it gets boosted up to a 2-turn taunt. At grade 4, it gets an upgrade where 3 random tough teammates get 100% decap resistance for 3 turns. So initially it doesn't have any decap resistance at all. And then at grade limit break 1, it gets -1 to starting cooldown. So it goes from a turn 2 starting cooldown down to a turn 1 starting cooldown. And I'd say that's actually pretty important just to get that decap resistance off as early as possible. The taunt and stuff like that and the bonus HP is nice as a bonus, but you know, the decap resistance is nice because obviously you're going to stop people being able to get taken out really quickly. And then at limit break 3, it's going to be 2 other teammates getting 100% decap resistance for 2 turns. So it can potentially go up to a full 5-team decap resistance for the entire team. Obviously, based on how you set up the team, it would seemingly be very advantageous to have him side by side with at least 2 other tough teammates. That way you're giving out 60% bonus HP to your entire team on the signature move, plus everyone is going to get that decat resistance. That's 2 tough teammates minimum. If you used 5, I believe 3 would get the random tough teammate bonus, where it'd be 3 turns, and then 2 would just get the 2 turns. But it shouldn't be a problem because this has got a 1 turn cooldown. He's just going to be doing it every other turn, and that's going to be basically having decat resistance up 24/7 for the defense team. Now, before we move on to Eric's passives, we are going to be doing a giveaway for 10,000 Ultra tokens, and all you have to do is type down in the comments below the entry phrase, which is going to be tough. Yep, that's right, tough. There is a lot of tough things going on in this kit, in the rush, in the signature move. So if you want to enter, please write tough down below. Make it as part of a sentence as well. If you're watching this on the live stream when this originally gets released, make sure you type it in the actual comments. The live stream comments do not count. Best of luck if you enter. Now back to the video. So now checking out Eric's mythic abilities, these are his passives. The first one, of course, is going to be precision because he's a control character. Now he has a bit of control on his kit, so this is going to work very nicely. 40% lower against this character are the resistances, so he's got more chance of actually hitting that control. The next one is bleed proof. At the start of each wave, 100% chance all tough teammates get 100% bleed resistance for 2 turns. This is going to be nice if he's in a team full of full tough teammates, but even if he's in a team with just 2 or 3, they're going to get, you know, obviously that bleed resistance in there. The next one is going to be helping hand. At the start of each turn, 65% chance to revive a teammate with 100% of their max HP. So this is quite reminiscent of a couple of characters. I think we had Davey and also Molly out there who have just like random chance to revive at the beginning of their turn. This is, I think, the highest 65% chance. This means that like 2 times out of every 3 turns you're going to be reviving someone pretty much. So very powerful indeed. The next one is called Hold On. When being attacked while under the effect of a debilitating status effect, this character gets 100% defense against the attack. That is going to be very, very powerful indeed. I don't think that's going to work against deal damage rushes. I'm not 100% certain because it says when being attacked. But that will work against multi-hit rushes. That will work against basic attacks. So it'll be very effective against those basically attacks that can crit. So he's going to massively reduce that incoming damage there. It will, of course, stack with any weapon upgrades you have too. So if you have anything that reduces damage effects further, for instance, crit damage, they will stack on top of each other. This should also stack with a defense buff as well. I won't really be able to test this out, but I'll try and message someone from Scopely and put in my top comment just to see if this actually stacks with a defense buff, like 50% defense as a buff. So if we start the fight, you can see I put a full tough team with Eric here, and they've all got 100% bleed resist, as you can see. Now what I'll do is I'll just take out a couple of these enemies, and we'll hit the defend action, and we've got a 65% chance the character will get revived, and that's what happened. It will happen at the beginning of the turn 2, so you kind of saw the animation of Eric doing his signature move. It actually came in like after the revive came in. First turn, even if you take someone out, unless you decap them, they're going to get picked up potentially straight away and get that decat resistance on them straight away. So very problematic. No way to block that when it comes to the passives, because it's not on the signature move, it's not on the rush, it's inbuilt in the passives itself. Now we'll just go over the upgrades on the passives here, and you can see at grade 1 he gets the first half of bleed proof, making it 50% chance all tough teammates get 100% bleed resistance for 2 turns. At grade 2 he gets the first half of precision, making it 20% lower resistances against this character. At grade 3 he just maxes out bleed proof and making it 100% chance it's going to proc, where it's 100% bleed resistance for 2 turns for all tough characters. At grade 4 it's going to be the first half of helping hand. At the start of each turn, 20% chance to revive a teammate with 100% of their max HP. At grade 5 he'll get the first half of hold on. When being attacked under the effect of debilitating status effect, this character gets a 50% defense against attack. So it's not going to be a chance to a proc, it's going to proc no matter what. It will just be slightly less powerful than it would be maxed out. If we move on to the limit breaks, you can see precision 2 is going to come in at LB1, making the resistances 40% lower in total. At LB2, at the start of each turn, it's going to be a 65% chance to revive a teammate with 100% of their max HP. The 65% is obviously going to be high, but the fact that they're going to be revived with full HP, I'm thinking characters like Peacekeeper, Nor, that's going to be absolutely crazy. Then at LB3, we've got Hold On 2 coming in. If Eric is under a debilitating status effect, he'll get 100% defense against any incoming attacks. Again, please check my top comment. I'll try and confirm if this works with a speech bubble buff or not. Now, I think these passives are obviously great. They're going to increase Eric's individual survivability. They're going to obviously help the entire team as well when it comes to the revive potential. The 100% max HP when someone is revived is actually crazy. And then we've got that bleed resist on top just to make sure that we don't have any sneaky bleed characters get snuck in against this team. Now, this character, of course, does have a specialist skill which you have kind of seen in action in the clips before. It's Bide 2. This character stores the damage it takes from attacks, active abilities, and rushes, including signature moves as well, after storing damage equal to 30% of its max HP, or if the defend action is used, deal 150% of the stored damage to one enemy immediately. Stored damage is reset to 0 after use. Bide does not trigger if this character is killed. Now, this is obviously a very nice specialist skill. He's going to be taunting characters into this specialist skill as well on turn 1. So that's very problematic for the characters being taunted because they could just get one shot depending on the amount of Eric's HP. Remember, it is 150% of whatever 30% of his max HP is. So if he's got 100,000 HP, it would be 45,000 damage that he'd reflect back. And it's of course also quite annoying. One of the most annoying things for me is when a Bide character just defends and one-shots one of your damage dealers, because a lot of the time your damage dealer only has like 20 to 25k HP, and most Bide characters can store up a lot more on the damage than that. Now, if we check out the weapon he's got in his hands, of course, is a default weapon. So I just go for the standard defense HP, impair on defense, and potentially 50% reduction to incoming crit damage. That's going to definitely stack with that passive because they have totally different buffs. It'll be the first one comes in, and then if it does crit, then the next one will come in terms of reduction. So it'll be reduction on top of reduction, which will be quite nice there. It'll be interesting to see where the weapon that he's holding in his hands will actually come out. I do like this type of rifle. They do look cool. So that is Gold Mythic Eric, and like I said, he is going to be a character to come out on the Ultra Token wheel. Keep an eye out on him coming to the game very soon. He will last for 2 weeks. If you want your chance to win the giveaway, please enter now. I'll be doing the draw on the Monday before his wheel ends. That is the end of this video, guys. Best of luck if you do enter that giveaway. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.